The opening scene begins with our protagonist, Victor Knudsen, pedaling eagerly towards his high school. It's his third day here, and he has already been hit by a disease. It's not a typical disease he is referring to, it's Anya-itis, the crush he has developed on Anya, a captivating high school senior. According to him, she is the prettiest person alive. While he is busy admiring her from a distance, a sleek sports car purrs to a halt before her. Peter, her potential boyfriend, gets out of it and kisses his girl. He is a muscular boy and a bully, a tyrant who exerts his dominance over his male peers. While these three are busy having fun, two boys approach them extending an invitation to the girls for an upcoming party. But Peter pushes them away, declaring that Anya and her friend would never grace their insignificant gatherings with their presence. The boys are Victor's friends, Ernie and Nick. On the other hand, Vic finds himself summoning every ounce of bravery to extend an invitation to Anya for an upcoming party he plans to attend. He approaches them, with his heart pounding like a drum in his chest, and when he tries to introduce himself, an unexpected hiccup escapes his mouth. Then, in an almost cinematic yet unfortunate turn of events, his bicycle falls, causing all the other cycles to fall to the ground. They make fun of him, and Peter even calls him Hiccups, a clever fusion of his name and the unfortunate hiccup that has become the centerpiece of this spectacle. Amidst Vic's cringe-worthy spectacle, unbeknownst to him, the mischievous duo of his younger brother Zach and Zach's comrade in humor, Brian, seize the moment with their camera. They decide on making the most catastrophic film in history, on Vic and Anya, and they playfully banter about their destined rise in the film industry, their young hearts aflame with the promise of success, laughter, and the undying allure of storytelling. Later, at Ernie's place, the boys set up for the party. They remove the flag from the pole and hang a full-size doll in nothing but her underwear instead. Vic is worried whether Anya will come to the party or not, when his friends tell him that he can't be going around dreaming of a 15-year-old. The scene switches to Anya's room, where she is singing into her hairdryer when Marissa arrives, all dressed up in a hot black dress, ready for a day out. Anya opens her closet and finds her brother Brian and Zach inside it, filming her unguarded moments as she emerges from her sanctuary. A startled cry escapes Anya's lips as she forcefully expels the intruders from her domain, but they keep filming her weird expressions. After they leave, Marissa shifts the focus back to the business at hand, an impromptu invasion of Ernie's party. As the hands of time weave their tapestry, the momentous hour arrives, the time for the party. Ernie's house throbs with the rhythm of life, each beat a testament to the youthful spirit that courses through its veins. Ernie stands at the entrance, letting only people with invitation cards enter. Vic approaches him with his nerves taut like guitar strings and asks about Anya. To mess with him, his friend jokes that she came, and was turned away at the door due to a lack of that all-important invitation card. Seeing Victor's expression drop, the heartache of missed opportunity etched on his features, Ernie advises him to forget about Anya and get any girl he wants. On the other hand, Anya and Marissa are sitting on her bed deciding on whether to go to Ernie's party or get into Avalon, where Peter wants them to go. Marissa asks Anya if she is afraid of Peter, to sleep with him. The room hangs in suspended animation as the weight of the question echoes. Then, like a whispered confession, she says that she is ready to go into this world of desires, but she doesn't know if Peter is the one she wants to lose her virginity to. To make her mood happy, Marissa quotes the Bible, advising her to wait for her one true love, and the girls burst out laughing. Within the lively pulse of the party, Vic finds himself stationed behind the bar, orchestrating a symphony of drinks and merriment when Marissa and Anya arrive. Their presence leaves him spellbound, and not knowing what to say, he compliments her dress. The awkwardness increases when he introduces himself, and his grip on Anya's hand lingers a fraction too long, the seconds stretched by the weight of his infatuation. When the girls leave, he watches them go like a love-struck boy. Marissa comments that Vic is hooked on her, and their laughter reverberates like the melody of shared secrets. After his wonderful yet nerve-wracking encounter with his crush, Vic rushes off to the bathroom and dips his face in ice-cold water. He curses himself for doing such dumb things in front of Anya. He then practices his next lines in front of the mirror and goes out. Back in the middle of the party, he talks to his feet, urging them to carry him toward his heart's desire when Ernie arrives, who signals Vic to seize the moment. He finally musters up the courage to approach her, but on his way, he is stopped by his friends, who push the mic in his face and ask him to say something. Face to face with the mic, he starts hiccuping. Ernie asks for any hiccup expert. That is when Marissa decides to give her idea. They hold the poor Vic upside down and drip the drink on his face. After a while, Anya arrives, stopping everyone. She asks if he wants her to stop his hiccups. All he will have to do is to do one more hiccup, and she will give him a big fat kiss. He hiccups, she fulfills her pledge, leaning in to claim the lips that have long occupied his daydreams. The world slows around them, and that is when he realizes that he was imagining kissing her, making a fool of himself in front of everyone. Later at night, back at his home, Vic takes out his guitar and starts playing, thinking of his dumb mistakes. The next morning, Victor's and Zach's mom is having breakfast when she sees a spider in her tea. She shouts at Zach, and he arrives, takes the spider, and eats it, saying that the spider was delicious, considering it was made of licorice. With a resigned sigh, their mother contemplates the cosmic quirk that might have landed her with this eccentric pair as her offspring. Vic also arrives at the breakfast table, and Zach asks if he was able to get some girls the previous night. His mom scolds him to mind his language, and he smirks. At school during lunch break, seated amongst his friends, he dares to voice his ponderings aloud about Anya liking him back. Ernie encourages him to go over to her and say hi. But Vic is afraid of all the seniors sitting around her, and specifically Peter. But his friends motivate him to go towards her and fight for his woman. He finally goes up to the trio and awkwardly says hi. Peter gets up, confronts him. Vic shivers under Peter's glare, a deer caught in headlights, but summons the courage to express gratitude for their attendance at the party. Peter doesn't like this intrusion, so he takes Vic to the side and warns him that if he ever tries to talk to them, he will split his skull into 2 pieces. He then throws a quarter at him, asking him to buy himself a Hershey's Kiss, because no sane person will give him one for free. As Vic leaves, Anya watches him go with a hurt expression on her face. Later, Vic is in the bathroom when Peter and Marissa arrive. He becomes an accidental eavesdropper on their conversation, and hears Peter complaining about Anya and her virgin talk. Marissa asks him to relax, because Anya is ready to let go of her innocence. While listening to their conversation, he almost blows his cover, but Peter doesn't take much notice of the noise and they leave. In the grand tapestry of events, Vic becomes the orchestrator of a daring plan, one that he believes could alter the course of Anya's romantic trajectory. He unveils a scheme that centers on advising Anya against pursuing an intimate liaison with Peter, backed by the conviction that he isn't genuinely in love with her. They finally ride their bicycles to her house, and she happens to live in a rich neighborhood. As if scripted by fate, Vic finds himself face to face with Anya herself, emerging from her abode with a stack of books cradled in her arms. He offers to take them from her and walks her to her car. However, the script Vic prepared lies forgotten. Instead, his words take a whimsical detour, and he just says that he is here to ask if she knows his little brother Zach. An air of gentle concern envelops Anya's voice as she wonders if all is well, and being the chicken he is, he says that everything is perfect. She then tells him that she is going for an interview. Seeking a final judgment on her appearance, her eyes lock onto Vic's, a request for affirmation echoing in their depths. In response, Vic's voice dances with unfiltered sincerity, a single word escaping his lips with the weight of truth: beautiful. She finally says her goodbyes and drives off for her interview, leaving the air heavy with the possibility of change, the promise of a connection that transcends the ordinary. Within the classroom's confines, Zach and Brian are watching the clips they will use for their film, while their teacher writes on the board. Brian takes out an invitation card, writes Victor's name on it, hands it to Zach. Turns out it's the invitation for Anya's 18th birthday celebration, a revelatory twist poised to add intrigue to their unfolding narrative. Under the shroud of night, Peter goes to Anya's place, and they have wine in her bedroom. While they both are enjoying themselves, Victor stands outside her window, the interloper perched on a ladder, a silent observer. After gulping down the wine, Peter removes his shirt and leans in to kiss her. They begin kissing with passion, but like the cruel hand of fate, their intimate exchange is fractured by the ringing of the doorbell. Anya rushes down to check the door, and is surprised to see Vic standing there. He says that he is here to pick up Zach, but Peter comes after her and says that it's better if Vic leaves. Returning to the intimate cocoon of her room, Peter's shirt once again surrenders to the allure of the night's warmth. He asks her to feel him, and she starts exploring his body, but once again they are interrupted by the doorbell. Anya's astonishment mirrors her first encounter as Vic materializes once more on her doorstep. This time, he says that he is here to look for his wallet, which he lost during the night. Patrick gets severely angry and asks him if he is trying to cock-block him. When they both try to get back inside, Vic starts coughing and asks for a glass of milk. She brings him inside and offers him milk. After he is done drinking, he takes the glass to the dishwasher. When he opens it up, he finds it fully loaded. He bends down to unload it, but before he can embark on this domestic endeavor, Peter's grip materializes, a vise upon Vic's shirt, and he drags him out. Returning to the sanctuary of Anya's room, Peter bets that Vic will be back in 5 minutes asking for some eggs or a cupcake. He makes fun of him, but she says that he seems sweet, but in his own way. Peter laughs and says that he will show her what sweetness is, and a playful shove lands Anya on the bed, a cascade of giggles escaping her lips, the air electrified by the chemistry they share. But once again, they are interrupted by the doorbell. Peter's anger simmers like a pot reaching boiling point as he strides to answer the call of intrusion. But fate delights in surprises, and this time the universe's twist unfolds as the door swings open to reveal not Vic, but Anya's own parents and sibling. Peter's jaw drops in shocked silence, and he stands there shirtless, momentarily suspended in an unforgettable moment. With the dawn of a new day, Brian and Zach watch the video of when Brian and his parents found Peter shirtless. Laughter cascades like a waterfall as they revel in the comic tapestry they've woven. Brian compliments his genius idea of having a camera and sunglasses. Meanwhile, Zach's optimism takes flight, envisioning a future where their creation could lead them to a realm of staggering fortune, a couple of $100 million. On the flip side of the tale, Vic finds Anya's birthday invitation card sitting on his study table. The sight alone ignites an inferno of excitement within him, compelling him to seize his phone and dial Anya's number in a rush of exhilaration. But Brian picks up the call and messes with his head by saying that Anya really wants to see him at her birthday bash. And when he asks for a gift recommendation, Brian says that he should get her a tarantula and hangs up. Fueled by a newfound dread, Vic turns to his parents for insight, the veil of his ignorance momentarily lifted. His father's revelation paints tarantulas as formidable creatures, their venom a harbinger of danger. At his father's words, he looks at the box he is holding and cringes. When Zach finds out about the spider, he insists that they keep him and feed him dogs. Chaos mounts as their mother's voice rises and, in their haste to conceal their covert friend, the tarantula slips from their grasp. As their mom enters the room, the boys sit down, and Vic sees the tarantula climbing his drawer. Just as the creature is about to bite their mom, fate relents and she leaves, saving them all from disaster. Later at school, Brian and Zach are imagining Anya's reaction when Vic gifts her the spider. Their daydreams unfold like a cinematic sequence as they play out the scenario in their minds. However, before their reverie can fully take flight, they are kicked out of the class. At home, Victor is getting ready for the party. When his mom asks what he is gifting her, he lies and says that it's a book. She advises him to invite her over for dinner someday, but he refuses, saying that they are only friends. At his response, she laughs and questions why is he ironing his underpants. With a wrapped gift held carefully in his grasp, Victor stands before the threshold of Anya's abode, the camera lens of Brian's watchful eye capturing this crucial moment. Anya comes to the door and is shocked to see him standing there, but doesn't say anything. Victor hands her the present, and she beckons him indoors. The house is filled with elderly people, and Marissa and Peter are also standing to the side. They all sit down, and she finally opens up her present. The women start screaming on seeing a tarantula, but the men are excited. But as the room's energy morphs, a single action triggers chaos. Seeing everyone panic, Peter tilts the box and sets the creature free. Victor later apologizes to Anya and is embarrassed at what happened downstairs. To make him feel better about himself, she tells him that her father finds him hilarious and that she thinks that it was sweet of him to buy her a present. When he tells her that Brian said that she always wanted a tarantula, the pieces start falling into place. Fate, as if teasingly orchestrating their connection, introduces a hiccup into the scene, and to end it, she leans in to kiss him. But right before their lips connect, the door opens, and her dad tells them that they still can't find the tarantula, but the good news is that no one was bitten. Before leaving, Victor once again apologizes for ruining her birthday, and her dad drives him home. Reunited with his comrades, Victor becomes the narrator of the birthday bash's aftermath, the group dissecting the tapestry of events that unfolded. Vic says that he thinks he should take Anya to the movies someday, but Ernie's wisdom intercedes, and he says that he can't take her to movies on the first date, he should take her someplace better to impress her. Determination germinates within Vic, a resolve to create an indelible memory. He finally decides that he'll take her to the lake, bring some organic bananas, and rent a rowboat. As he leaves, a plan forms in Ernie's and Nick's minds. With bananas in his hand, Victor finally gets to Anya's home. He knocks on the door, and Anya sees him from her window. He tells her that he is here to make up for the mess he created at the birthday party by taking her somewhere special. The call of adventure beckons as Anya descends the staircase to the front door. He gifts her a mini cactus and asks her out for lunch. She agrees, and when they are about to leave, Peter arrives and says that he wanted to take her to the Four Seasons restaurant. When she apologizes, he gets angry and shouts at her for going out with a 15-year-old loser. Anya's patience reaches its limit, her retort a blaze of fire that slices through the atmosphere, and she leaves with Victor. They both sit down in Victor's old beat-up car, but when he tries to start it, it doesn't budge. Seeing it, Anya leans over and kisses the steering wheel, and like some magic, the car gets to life. When they finally reach their destination, Anya's eyes betray surprise as they alight upon the scene. A boat adorned in a cascade of blooms, blankets, and cushions, a sight that defies explanation. Victor is also shocked to see such decorations, because he didn't request such things, but doesn't complain. They both get on the boat, and as they row away, Nick and Ernie watch them go, seeing their plan go successful. The departing boat becomes a canvas upon which their shared journey paints an unfolding narrative. The waters carrying them away as silent observers watch the story they've orchestrated come to life. Beneath the sun's tender caress, Anya rows the boat, and Victor tells her that he would come here with his family as a little kid. Anya is excited, since it's the first time she has seen the lake. Music becomes their backdrop, a serenade painting the air with hues of romance. They both lie down on the blankets, and she apologizes for Peter's behavior. With her head lying on his chest, she insists that he is not a loser, gets up and kisses him intensely. Passion ignites, the taste of her lips a spark that erupts into flames, a kiss laden with emotions that have simmered beneath the surface. She then asks him if he is a virgin or not. At first, to look cool, he lies, but then guilt engulfs him and he admits that his innocence is still intact. Eased by his confession, she propositions him. It's like a dream come true for him, he agrees, and she invites him to her place on Wednesday. Overwhelmed with happiness, he shouts that he is the king of the world, and leans in to kiss her. As Wednesday's sun wanes, Victor walks up to the drugstore, but hesitates to go inside. After several deep breaths, he goes inside to the counter, and when asked about what he needs, he stutters. He tries saying condom a few times, but ends up saying condensed milk. He attempts 2 more times, but ends up getting rubbing alcohol and cigars. Disappointment cloaks his steps as he returns home, a bag of unintended acquisitions in hand. He then offers Zach $20 to go get them, and he goes to the drugstore and comes back with 2 condoms and a number of stares at his back. Later in school, Zach and Brian are in complete shock that Victor and Anya are finally getting laid. Yet, this unexpected turn doesn't sit well with their narrative preferences. The prospect of a harmonious ending churns their creative minds into action. Their teacher hears them speaking, so asks them to share what they are talking about with class. At the request, Zach says that they were discussing about the chicks he banged the other day. The teacher gets furious and kicks them both out. Finally, Victor goes up to Anya's house. Anticipation dances on the precipice of his emotions, tempered by a flicker of uncertainty as her father ushers him through the door. He takes Victor up to Anya's room, and there he finds her, lying on the bed reading a book. He moves around her room awkwardly, and the uneasiness increases when she tells him that her parents asked for them to look after Brian. Seeing him deflate, she laughs and says that she was just kidding, and her parents are going to leave in 10 minutes. The countdown commences, minutes become fleeting as the impending departure of her parents paints the canvas of their shared space with the hue of anticipation, a blend of innocence and possibility that swirls in the air like a whispered secret. After they are left alone, he leans in to kiss her, but she offers him a glass of milk to break the ice. He accepts the offer, and they both go to the kitchen to drink some milk. After they are done drinking, the milk morphs into courage, a bridge to the inevitable, and they go back up and their lips converge, the realm of passion ignited. Their moment is broken when Victor touches the lost tarantula, freaks out, and throws it out of the window. After they are done laughing at the funny incident, they undress, not knowing that Brian's teddy bear, with a hidden camera inside, is recording them. Victor then tries getting the condom on, but rips it in his hurry. He then takes out the second one, and this time Anya helps slip it on and succeeds. Right when they are about to get into it, they hear the front door opening. They quickly dress up, and when her parents come to their room, they are sitting casually, fully dressed. After a moment or two, her father takes Victor down to the kitchen for a chit-chat. He tells Victor that he reminds him of himself, and thinks that he is perfect for their daughter. He then questions if Victor has a condom with him or not, and it turns out that in the hurry to get dressed, he forgot to remove the condom, and it is still on him. While her dad turns around to get a drink, Victor removes the condom and hides it. Later that night, Anya calls Victor and apologizes for her dad's intrusion, but he laughs it off. She then invites him to come with her and Marissa, not knowing that Zach is listening to their conversation. As the call concludes, Zach springs into action, his own narrative weaving a tapestry in the shadows. In the embrace of this clandestine moment, he dials Brian's number, a flurry of excitement driving his words as he unfolds his grand idea, an ending that promises to twist the threads of their film into a new pattern, an ending as enigmatic as it is exhilarating. The next day, Victor is waiting for Anya and Marissa. When the girls arrive, talking about how sweet and sincere Victor is, they see a girl approach Victor and kiss him. Anya's fury ignites like a spark in dry leaves, her voice a storm crashing upon Victor's shore. Accusations unravel, her anger piercing the air like an arrow, her words a bitter chorus against his intentions. Victor tries to explain, but she runs off crying. As Anya leaves, Victor stands there heartbroken, and as if the heavens themselves weep in empathy, rain falls in torrents, a symphony of nature's grief mirroring his own. Victor goes back home, soaked till his bones in water. His parents ask what's wrong, but he retreats into solitude, his footsteps leading him to his room, a sanctuary of emotions. His mom brings him hot chocolate to drown his sorrows. He says that since Anya is no longer a part of his life is over. On the other hand, Anya sits on her bed, tears cascade like a waterfall, her emotions a tempest that she struggles to navigate. Anya cries because she thought that he was in love with her. She even destroys the mini cactus he gifted her. With the dawn's gentle touch, Victor is roused from his slumber by the presence of Brian and Zach, a CD held aloft like a revelation in their hands. They play the movie, showing him the scenes of when he and Anya made out, when Peter let the tarantula free, and also when Peter asked his cousin to act as Victor's girlfriend in front of Anya and later kissed her. With each flicker of the reel, the tapestry of his life reshapes, a poignant reminder that every moment is a chapter in a story yet to be fully written. In a state of complete shock, Victor grabs the CD and rushes out to Anya's place. But on his way, he is met with an accident, and the CD is crushed by an incoming car. As the shards of the CD glisten like stars fading into obscurity, his eyes shut, and he says a forever goodbye to Anya. Emerging from the fog of unconsciousness, Victor finds himself ensconced within a sterile hospital room, his broken leg a stark reminder of his recent ordeal. Anya is by his side, and tells him that Zach and Brian had some extra copies of the film and showed it to her. She then tells him that some clips of the film have been used for a greater cause. The scene then shifts to Peter's car, with Cousin Lover painted on it. Students stand around him, laughing and making fun of him. Back within the hospital walls, Anya's hands become a bearer of a gift, a cactus that symbolizes the rekindling of their connection, and asks him to come over for the weekend. He starts hiccuping, and to end them, she leans down and their lips connect, a kiss that binds past and present, a harmony that bridges the gap. The movie ends with Victor going to Anya's place, walking with the help of crutches and a bouquet in his hand, not knowing that Brian and Zach's cameras are watching his every move.